The Speaker, on behalf of the entire membership of the House of Representatives, offers House Resolution 185, a resolution of tribute offered as memorial for Donald H. Gilmer, former member of the House of Representatives. Whereas members of this legislative body were deeply saddened to learn of the passing of former State Representative Don Gilmer. He was a devoted advocate for his constituents in the counties of Allegan, Barry, Calhoun, and Kalamazoo, and a problem solver who could bridge divides and get things done in the legislature. And whereas Don Gilmer attended Michigan State University and was a Kellogg Fellow there. He also helped run the family fruit farm for several years. Later, he served on the Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners, including a stint as chair, and was appointed to the Michigan Agriculture Labor Commission before his election to the legislature. Along with public service, he was also civically engaged, including mentoring youth and promoting agricultural development. And whereas, after first being elected in 1976, Don Gilmer would go on to spend 22 distinguished years in the House of Representatives. He worked in many policy areas, such as agriculture and education, though much of his legislative efforts were devoted to the appropriations process. He sat on the Appropriations Committee and various appropriations subcommittees for many years, serving as chair during the mid-1990s, and ably balanced competing budgetary and policy interests. Moreover, he was a member of the committee that drafted Proposal A of 1994, the voter-approved plan that revamped school funding. And whereas the consummate public servant, Don Gilmer would go on to further public service at the state and local levels after his time in the legislature. He served as the State Lottery Commissioner, State Budget Director, and Kalamazoo County Administrator, among other roles. And whereas, during his time in the legislature, Don Gilmer was known as a leader who could bring people together and figure out solutions to tough problems facing the legislature and the state. His civility, good nature, and legislative skills made him an example to which legislators can aspire, and his family can take great pride in his decency, integrity, and accomplishments. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Michigan House of Representatives that we offer this expression of our highest tribute to honor the memory of Donald H. Gilmer, a member of the legislative body from 1977 to 1998, and be it further resolved that copies of this resolution be transmitted to the Gilmer family as evidence of our lasting esteem for his memory.
Will all members in favor of the memorial resolution please rise? The resolution is adopted. The chair recognizes Representative Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I serve in the 63rd District, which is the seat that Don Gilmer held for 22 years. Don was a public servant, and he was admired in Kalamazoo and Calhoun counties. And in 1976, Don defeated an incumbent of his own party. And I know from experience that that's really difficult, and it's really hard to earn the trust of your colleagues, both on your side of the aisle and the other side of the aisle. Well, Don was able to do that, and the reason was he's very kind, he had very large amount of respect for others, he had so much integrity, and he was a very good-natured sense of humor. Don had a gift of bringing people together to solve problems. He listened to his constituents and brought their ideas to Lansing. So Don served here for 22 years, and at the end of my term, it'll be 22 years since he left. And in that time, we've had 5 legislators. And I know 3 of those are here today, myself, Jerry Vanderroost, and Speaker Jace Bolger. And I know each of us over those 22 years have sought the wisdom and counsel of Don Gilmer because he was so respected in our communities. So I'm just grateful Don Gilmer was here to serve this body, serve my communities. He made Calhoun County, Kalamazoo County, and our state a greater place. He blazed a trail for all of us here in the 100th legislature. And I hope we continue the great, bipartisan work we've done here already this term in his great legacy. I did want to present real quickly this flag to Lynn, his wife, who's here. This is the flag that was over the state capitol at half-mast in honor of Don Gilmer. So, Lynn, I'll give this to you. And Mr. Speaker, with us today is Lynn, Don's wife, Tom, his brother, Laura, his daughter, and a number of other members of Representative Gilmer's family.
So to the family of former Representative Don Gilmer, I would like to thank you for being with us here today, but also for your years of sacrifice during his service. Representative Gilmer is certainly someone who has an accomplished history of service to our state and is known for being a bridge builder, but also being someone who put service above self and was a true statesman. So I want to thank you for your sacrifice during his years of service. And at this time, I would like to ask the family of former Representative Gilmer, as well as the friends who are here today to celebrate this resolution, to please rise. And I'm going to ask my colleagues to join me in welcoming all of them with us here today to the Michigan House of Representatives. And the chair recognizes Representative Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Also here joining us on the floor today, former Speaker Jace Bolger, former Speaker Paul Hildegans, and then former Rep. Jerry Vanderroos, who served in the seat, and a number of other legislators who served with Don Gilmer, many of which are back for the first time here on the House floor to honor him.
Will the former representatives of this chamber who are with us today please rise? And colleagues, join me in welcoming them back to the Michigan House of Representatives. The House will stand at ease. Call the chair.